Wanting it off to Portugal with Porsche training.
So we're stood here in the new facility, which you can see is definitely not ready yet.
The Porsche Mobile One Super Cup is now being electric.
There's loads of people that have watched up to that point now in the comments going, oh my god, no. Right, we're back. The Let's Talk Porsche Torque Show. It's been a fair minute, hasn't it, since our last one. So, well, hopefully this will become a bit more regular again. It's back to the three of us, Ashley, Joe, me. So we're back at it. Yeah. We're back at it. We're going to start off. We've got some amazing information on lots of new products. We've got some interesting news items. So hopefully this is an interesting one for you to find out all about the Porsche news and the Porsche updates. So let's just kick off. It's a big year this year for Porsche. Lots of new models coming out. We've had Panamera, Taycan Gen 2. We've had the new KM was end of last year. We've had KM GTS come out this year. Macan EV's coming in a few months' time. We've got 911 Gen 2, 992 Gen 2 has been announced. So lots of products.
Yeah, physically here we've got Panamera, so that's nice to see. Taycan facelift. Excited to see the Macan, like to get them in the UK. We were lucky enough to go abroad and drive them, weren't we?
Yeah. Guys swanning it off to Portugal with Porsche training. But yeah, so how was that? What was it like? Did you actually got to drive the cars? So
Honestly, it was phenomenal. The electric Macan is night and day from the current kind of combustion Macan that we know and love. And I think especially trying out a lot of the new technology on the open road, you can read about it obviously on Newsroom and, you know, find out about it on a YouTube channel, but until you're behind the wheel, it's, yeah, phenomenal.
that was one of the great things. Once we get the cars physically here, customers can experience it. I think that'll be one of the biggest things, won't it, to sort of try it out.
Absolutely.
Macan EV especially, that's one of the biggest things for Porsche because the Macan is such a successful model to the Porsche franchise. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's really popular for us as well, isn't it? Because of where we are, you know, clumsy lanes, bits of pieces like that.
Yeah.
So it's kept all the characteristics of the old car, but I was super impressed with the Macan Turbo because we were really lucky. We got to drive that round Estrial racetrack, and Turbo has torque vector on the rear dims with a bit more power. My race is awesome. What a bit of kit.
Yeah.
So superb. They've still did everything the Macan needs to. So that is going to be like the do-it-all car for me going forward.
The top one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's going to be good. And talk about different things. You got the Panamera as well. You got to travel in your active ride as well. So that was something pretty cool.
Yeah, active ride's really funky where the car can like lean into the corners. But brake, it like does the opposites. It stops at those dives. It on shows like helicopter coming into land. in like Sport Plus, it doesn't. It's designed more for the comfort. Mm-hmm. So it's like when you turn into a roundabout round town, like just it's really nice.
But you put it in, you do drive that a bit more spirited. You try and reference it a bit like a motorbike, but like it dips into the corners and makes it a bit more agile.
Quite nice as well on there. We went down quite a few roads that were maybe not as smooth as you would have liked. Kind of reminiscent of a few of the country roads around here. And I think...
especially the potholes.
Oh my goodness, yes. I just thought it was phenomenal how kind of planted and centre it kept you. Like you didn't feel like you were getting jostled around. It was just incredibly comfortable. So literally two ends of the spectrum there for the comfort and the performance. And
the new Taycan was there as well. And you got got to experience the Taycan GT as well, I hear.
Quick little hot lap around the circuit.
What was that like?
I mean, absolutely showstopper.
Yeah.
That car. It is
better than the Turbo S. Like noticeably better.
I think definitely because when you sat in it, I mean, we were driving ones with the bicep pack and without, so some had back seats, some didn't have the cage. And you sat in and you got that kind of feel of the GT car. It didn't feel like a road car, if that makes sense. You did feel like you were literally flying around those tracks, especially when they put it into the attack mode. So that's the same kind of mode they saw in kind of like Formula E in like the 99X electric. So you did feel like you were in a track car. But then similarly, you could just take your test code if you wanted to. Yeah, who knows?
Talking of Formula E, having the Turbo GT as the pace car, is it further to the...
Yeah, as the safety car, yeah.
That's going to be, that'll be quite cool.
Mm-hmm. Even on the road, the new Turbo S, like I got in that obviously had a colleague that was driving. He pulls out the car like, straight away, puts his foot down, and my stomach completely went. And I couldn't believe how quick. We're talking like nearly 1,000 horsepower in the top tier Taycan. I was like, this was unbelievably quick. It's multiple accelerations. Didn't get like tired. I just couldn't believe how quick it was. I mean, it was like 26 degrees, bow dry time.
Yeah.
You know, clear roads, brilliant. Yeah, so quick. Like, where are these cars going? Like, what's the end goal with them?
But as well, we've got them. Luckily, we've got them here now as our demos. And I look at drive the Taycan 4S, and it just seems to drive so much better. Like it's got air suspension as standard now, and it just drives like noticeably better from the previous generation.
Have you managed to try out the push to pass button yet?
I've given it a little go.
Yeah.
That is quite a cool feature. And obviously we've had like the push to Sport Plus on a couple of the models for quite a few years now. But to bring that to the Taycan in the way they've done it as well is quite a cool little feature. And obviously not forgetting the other things that we've got. We obviously had the Cayenne at the end of last year. We had Cayenne GTS now this year, which I've heard. Like the previous version of the Cayenne GTS, it sounds mega. So yeah, I can't wait to.
Yeah, 4-litre V8 and that. So that's nice to see that the V8s of the Cayenne. I mean, you can get the S with the V8, but then the GTS is always louder, a bit more ferocious. So yeah, nice to get one of those come through.
Ferocious, love it. Yeah.
So yes, it's quite heavy on product that we've this year with all these models. We had our first launch event at the new centre, so we've been in 3 years. And we've now actually had a model launch event, so we had that the other week, and it was great to have hundreds of people in the centre, cocktails, food, and then to get to see the new Taycan and new Panamera. It was just really a nice evening, and to kickstart the new centre, because we've been in 3 years, but we're already building a new building. So. I'll clip in a bit of a video from Simon, the centre principal, who's just giving you a little bit of a look at the new workshop. But we've been a bit of a victim of our own success, really. We're on the M6, the brand's growing, the lead times haven't been what we've wanted, but we're doing something about it, and it's good to be expanding.
Yeah, we understand that it's like the complete package we have to offer customers. So it's not just supplying a great product, a great service, part that is being able to maintain the cars going forward. And to get our lead times down, especially with getting into the workshop and turnaround time, employing more technicians, but building more around, more workshop space. So we are doing everything we physically can as a company to help you guys out and maintain the cars and keep them on the road and everyone happy. So that's really nice to see that Simon here and self-invest and investing further in the brands.
Recognising and constantly improving.
Even though 3 years ago this was massive improvement on what we have, Yeah,
we had a 6-car showroom and like a 5-bay workshop at Kendal, and now we've got this massive new facility, and 3 years in we're already having to build. But it shows that Porsche, not just ourselves, but Porsche's growing itself. Obviously the model range is growing, and we kind of offer something for everyone in a sort of way, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're stood here in the new facility, which you can see is definitely not ready yet, but we're not far off. The building we're stood in now is our new dedicated EV bay and EV repair bay. So as our brand transitions into EV, with the success of the Taycan and the impending Macan, which will launch this year, we've really decided to step up our investment in our facilities to mirror that, so we can support you guys, our customers, with the EVs that we have coming through. So it's not just EVs that we're focused on. Clearly we're focused on normal service work, repair work, and preparing our cars for sale as well. So following on from the EV bay, I'll take you through to the rest of the building. So these ramps in here, twinned with the EV bay, will allow us to double our capacity from our current workshop. And that really was the key for us. So as we grow into this new building, we're able to offer improved lead times for a mixture of work, whether it be an ICE car or an EV or whatever might happen in the future. So as you can see from the wider shots in this video, we're not quite there yet, but we're not far off. This is still a building site that's being finished. That said, from the ramps we've already covered off, we have allowed ourselves more space. So if you follow me, we've got another side of the building. So with this side of the building, we've put in a dedicated wheel alignment ramp to speed up times for wheel alignments and MOTs. And we've got a lot more space behind me, which you can hear from the echo, with cassettes sunk into the floor for more EV bays if required, or just whatever we need space for in the future. Storage, vehicle charging, service ramps. It's always good to have space. So come July, we can get in following a transitioning period of training and staffing up. It will give us a lot more capacity in our ramps to be able to deliver a greatly reduced lead time to yourselves as customers, and that's the whole reason for this building.
So that's our brand new workshop. We're really excited to get the official handover and get the technicians in there. So we're now really excited for, I guess, looking a bit further to the future, getting our hands on seeing the new 911, the 992 Gen 2.
Yeah.
Big news with that as well, especially with the GTS and we're trusting with the hybrid side of it.
Yeah, so 911's going electric.
Wow.
In a fashion. Yeah. It's a bit of a touch point for a lot of Porsche enthusiasts, that. But it's not going fully electric. It's electric in performance only, isn't it?
Yeah, we're not seeing an electric range, if you like. It's all about using that electric motor to have that instantaneous torque at the low ranks, kind of eliminating turbo lag, basically.
Yeah, it's enhancing what we've already got. And I see this changeover. I mean, at first you think, oh my god, hybrid, but it's not that at all.
No.
It's no different to the changeover from when we went from air-cooled to water-cooled. You've still got a combustion engine, but it is just better to cool a combustion engine with water than air. And it is just better to cool a turbo with a motor that spins round that relies solely on exhaust gases. So it's a logical step.
It's electric in the gearbox as well.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
So there's a motor in the gearbox that goes straight onto the shaft that's in the gearbox, and then you've also got a motor that reduces turbo lag.
Right.
Spins the turbo up.
So it's basically all driven for performance. It just makes sure the 911 is
100%.
the ultimate performance machine.
Yeah, and it does help efficiency as well, because these cars do have to meet strict sort of emissions regulations, and that's always changing going forward. So a model that's launched today needs to be a model that we can sell for the next 3-4 years. And even with the mild motor that's in the gearbox and the turbo that has the motor for reducing lag, they can recover energy.
Yeah.
So, there is a sense that you can get energy back from those as well.
Yeah, it's not a plug-in hybrid,
No.
like we're saying. One question I got from a customer is, and then I'll get your both opinions on this, is, so the GTS, and it's got its turbo and that amount of power, where can they go with turbo and Turbo S?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Well, it's a speculation mode here now. Do you think, obviously it's a single turbo in the GTS, would they go dual turbo in the turbo? Do you think it's possible? Or, I don't know.
I don't know this electric turbo, but at the end of the day, we've gone from a 3 litre now 3.6.
3.6. No.
So it's a new engine, and it would be very bizarre for a company to invest all that time and engineering into a brand new engine and just have it in one model trim. So I think we'll lose the 3.8, just my opinion, in the Turbo S, and it'll go to the 3.6. But I think that 3.6 is
But they kind
a
of,
lot more.
I was going to say, boosted a little.
Whether they stick another turbo on it if it's needed, or whether they can do something more of that.
Just with the engine, yeah.
I mean, a lot of the time, these engines turn down, and to have a 3.6 with an electric turbo make the power it's making, I think there's a lot more in that engine still to come.
There's a lot more to give.
A lot of potential, definitely.
Well, that's all the products and all the models that are coming out. So let's touch on some of the news stories that are doing the rounds in the Porsche world. So, you got something to talk about, Ash?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, since we've been talking about 911s, we may as well talk about some of the 911 GT3 Cup vehicles. So the Porsche Mobile One Super Cup is now being
Electric.
Hang on a minute, that's a very clickbait article there.
There's loads of people that have watched up to that point now in the comments going, oh my god, no.
They are using though e-fuels now, so a little more sustainable. It means that these cars are competing in a motorsport, but also potentially carbon net zero. So massive improvement there.
Talked about a bit, haven't we, in the previous talk shows with the factory in Chile and they're making these e-fuels that carbon out the atmosphere, turning back into, but it's actually really cool to now actually see it being used, and it's in a motorsport, which we all know Porsche then develops down into the road-going vehicles.
Absolutely. Well, we'll probably see it in, I'm assuming, the experience centres next, so that'll be quite nice. People who go and try out the new Porsches.
Yeah, it's nice to see it implemented because motorsport not only is very competitive, racing and everything like that, but a lot of big teams, really, especially Porsche, the main idea behind the motorsport cars is to progress the technologies.
Absolutely.
It's testing the technology, seeing what works, what doesn't, and then filtering it down onto the passenger cars. So yeah, it's great because it's carbon neutral as fuel, so it's very much like wood. The carbon it takes to reduce or it takes out the atmosphere, essentially like wood, is what's released when you burn it. So carbon neutral. It means we can keep all the classics on the road.
Yeah.
Keep combustion engines coming through that people want to buy.
I think that's a big part of it is the classics, and obviously what we have now will be classic eventually.
Future classics.
And Porsche's big aim and what they start and what they quote in their marketing is that 70% of Porsches ever made are still able to run, and I think they want to keep that. So they're going to have to find a way to do that, even if they do go fully down the road, which we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, fingers crossed it comes to market at some point, because it'd be good if we can keep going with especially with certain products, keep the night weather to keep it as a petrol.
It's nice as well that Porsche have invested in this, so that the brand see it. So it's not just like we'll have classic customers that's like worried, what's going to happen with electrification in 10 years? Am I going to be able to run the car? Oh yeah, there'll be e-fuels. Well, not only will there be e-fuels, there'll be Porsche e-fuels. Porsche specifically have passion to say, yeah, we're going to invest so you can keep your cars on the road.
Absolutely. And they're not just on the road, they're here at the centre. People will drive up in the 924 or 356, whatever it might be. They'll drive up to the centre, and to keep those cars on the road with the e-fuels is our way of kind of keeping these cars alive, but also looking at that sustainability standpoint. So win-win, really.
Well, I just want to touch on something completely different a little bit. So the Porsche Museum this year welcomed its 6 millionth visitor.
Wow.
I think that's quite a statement, and it shows, if you've not been, the Porsche Museum is an amazing place. It's not just your stuffy old walk around and there's a Porsche, there's a Porsche. It's the way it's laid out. It's very open. It's very bright. It tells a story. There's different historical items. There's the motorsport section. There's it's got one of the first Porsche electric vehicles, and we're not talking about the Taycan. So and obviously the first 356, one of the first 356 models. And yeah, it's just an amazing place to visit, and it's a cool design building. So yeah, I think to get 6 million customers shows that there's a lot of passion there for the world of Porsche and people to visit. But it's also right across from the factory, so you can get a factory tour when you go to visit as well. That's something. So I was lucky enough to do that last year, and I think if you can do a factory tour and a museum tour, it's a great experience.
Yeah, I've not been myself. I've done it with similar things with other German brands. They were really impressive, so I'd love to do the Porsche one. Factory tour and see the museum. It'd be great. Hopefully at some point.
We'll have to organise a road trip.
Yeah.
I'll get on that.
We could jump in a Taycan, that could be our long distance.
Test out the range.
Yeah, well, the new one has got extra range. So,
Yeah,
we have. Obviously, I've been testing it, driving it here, and definitely noticed. Like the other day, we had our track day, and I drove it from the centre home, did a few errands, drove it all the way to Croft, did some laps of Croft with the Taycan, which was quite interesting. Back home, back to the centre, and there's still plenty of range. I could have kept them running for a lot longer, and so it's definitely. I noticed that extra range on the new Taycan, which is good to see.
So a bit like the museum, places that are worth visiting, Porsche Experience Centre. We have one in Silverstone, which we've all been to, I think.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. There's now the 11th one is opening in the world, and that is now going to be in Singapore. So that's due to open about 2027. They're just awesome places. You get to experience the cars, you drive on different friction surfaces, you've got ice still, you've got Teflon surfaces where they slide about. So
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, do you remember your first time visiting there?
Yeah, it was incredible. We ended up taking Kayan on the off-roading one bit as well, which, I mean, it's not something I'd ever done before, off-roading, to be honest. I don't really live up in the lakes, so I certainly have done a bit of unofficial off-roading, but I think being able to take these cars and kind of push them to their extremes is crazy. It's phenomenal.
The bit I always remember about my first time going is you come to the thing called the kick plate, where it kicks the back end of your wheels out.
Yeah.
But the instructor said, right, we're going to count at the time. He was like, right, take your hands off the wheel, put them on your lap, and just accelerate at 30 miles an hour towards that. And I was like, what? And I was like, but it kicks you out, the car corrects itself, and then you grab the wheel, you carry on, and that bit just always sticks with me. But yeah, Silverstone was the first as well, wasn't it?
So that's probably due a refresh coming up at some point. Yeah, a lot of people might know you can pay for an experience. You can go on the website and book to go, and there's different levels. If you want to drive GT cars on the main circuit, or when you order a new car, every new car order, you get an automatic invite to the Silverstone Experience Centre.
Yeah. And they are bringing as well, I've been told, the Manti kits. So they'll have Manti kit fitted to the car. So if you purchase a GT product, you can test it with the Manti kit on around the test track there, so you can see the difference.
Amazing.
And know whether you want to purchase it or not. Yeah, which I think is pretty cool. So talking about sort of experiencing the cars and high level cars, we are getting involved in motorsport. So we're sponsoring a driver called Tom Bradshaw. He's got a bit of a connection to the centre. Him and his dad own the approved body shop that do all Porsche body work and things like that for the northwest of the UK. So was one of the first Porsche GB Carrera Cup development drivers back in 2008, I think it was. And now he's getting involved in the Porsche Cayman Sprint Challenge Great Britain. We're sponsoring him in a seat. And it's going to be interesting to see how he gets on through the season. We've had there's a video on our YouTube channel which gives an update on Tom and from his first round, which is worth a listen to, and it'll give you an update on where he's up to. But yeah, it's going to be cool to be involved in motorsport.
Yeah, we had his car down for a little bit, didn't we? Not long, but we've managed to have a look around it. So it's a GT4 RS Club Sport. I mean, GT4 RS, they're already super cool. So the Club Sport, which is caged and has a load of track prepared features, which is really nice to see what's different, see what motorsport items were fitted, sit in it, and it was all brand new. It's never been raced at this point, no impacts, no scuffs. So yeah,
Probably look a bit different by the end, but you know.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a few scuffs and scrapes, I think, along the way. But there's quite a lot. Obviously it has features, doesn't it, of the road-going GT4 RS. But there was definite changes you could see on the inside and on the exterior, which makes it that Club Sport race car sort of feel to it. That steering wheel, I love that on my normal car. It's just immense. Obviously, he gets to drive cars on track all the time. We don't, but we recently had our track day, and it was an experience to sort of see a multitude of different cars, different 911 models through the generations, the top tier of the Porsche products, but also Boxsters, Caymans, some classics, 964 as well. So it was really quite cool to sort of experience that. I think you two managed to go out in some cars and experience that with some of the customers. How was that, Ash?
Insane. It was amazing. I don't think I stopped smiling the entire day. It's rare that you get the chance to kind of sit in a car, say a a GT4 and then immediately drive a GT4 RS, then have the Manti kit GT3 RS as well, to have the back-to-back comparisons of how we're going to handle each corner and how we're going to perform, how it's going to feel, what kind of power they're going to have behind them. It's like...
Yeah, I remember you saying that to me on the day, like how it was great to sort of have a direct comparison.
Yeah.
Because then you know now, so if customers are speaking to you about certain stuff, like you can see that difference.
Absolutely. I mean, the majority of the time when I'm in the cars, I'm kind of talking through things like sat nav and tech tips and things like that. So to have that real life experience is incredible. So yeah.
So yeah, we've got come to the end of the podcast now. So there's quite a bit of information we've had there. It's the first one we've done in a while, so apologies, we're a bit rusty. But we've got a lot of stuff coming up at the centre, so hopefully we'll see a lot of you around. We've got a VIP boat event on Windermere Lake, which would be really cool. It's like the company that we're working with, they actually sell a boat that's called it's a day boat that's styled on the 356 Speedster, which is quite cool. We've got Lancaster Grand Prix, so I'll have the Porsche e-bikes out and doing some hill climbs with that. That'll be quite good. We've got the Porsche Club concourse coming up as well. So our connections with the clubs are always a very important part of being a Porsche Centre. So that'll be quite exciting. And yeah, lots of stuff going on. So we'll keep following our social media. All our stuff for events and things will be on there. Get us on WhatsApp. You can join our WhatsApp to be kept up to date on lots of information on events and things. And yeah, keep following our talk show. Thanks very much, Joe. Thanks very much, Ash.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Till the next one.